Hello, and welcome to another episode of You Are the Masterpiece. And since we are in the holiday season, if you're watching us live, it's December 31st, 2024, and we are ready to say goodbye to 2024 and saying hello to 2025. So, with all that beautiful energy, and I just wanted to welcome everybody who is listening to us. My name is Irina Portnova, and I'm a manifestation star because I help you how to tap and start manifesting anything what you desire effortlessly and easy. And that's exactly what I help people to do. And I have amazing guests today with me. It's Angus Scott. Angus, thanks so much for coming to this beautiful podcast and tell a little bit about yourself and what you're doing in this world.
Yeah, thank you so much. And it's such a pleasure to ring out the old year and ring in the new year with you. So
Mm.
I really appreciate the opportunity to come on and connect with you again. For me, I'm a love and relationship coach along with my partner, Mayan, and we are passionate about helping people not only just find a partner, but like find, nurture, create an amazing, what we call 10 out of 10 epic relationship. Because if you're going to be in a relationship, it might as well be amazing. It might as well be the ideal relationship that you want it to be, and something that inspires others. One of the things we see so often is that most people can only name one or two couples that actually have an amazing relationship, and we want to transform that, revolutionize that to where it is the new standard that if you're going to be in a relationship, it's going to be great, and we love helping people do that.
I love what you're doing in this world because you're right. We do want to have more love in this world, and it all starts with us, right?
Yeah.
And I love the topic that we are having today, and it's all about magnetic energy, right? What does it mean to have that magnetic energy inside of us, and how is it going to help us to love ourselves more and to attract that ideal partner or to deepen the relationship in the exist with the existing partner and actually attract the miracles and all the opportunities into our life. Let's just dive in into this, Angus. When I say the magnetic force within you, what does come for you?
Yeah. So one of the things, because we get this a lot, we work with a lot of women, especially, and I want to talk both to women and men today. But one of the things we see so often is that when women are dating or going on dates, they're coming back and going like, "That guy just he talks so much, and I feel like he likes me, but he doesn't even know me." And it's such a funny thing because in human psyche, we actually like people who like us, and so if you're open to receiving from people, they like you. What's funny is the better listener that you are, the more people will like you. But sometimes you don't feel like they know you. So why should they like you? And so it's
Mhm.
actually kind of a dance that we teach to create this like matching and mirroring and creating this dynamic relationship where you get to give them the gift of listening and having them be seen, felt, and heard, which creates that attraction from them to you. But then you also get to lead that, and the leading it is kind of a more subtle part of the dance where when you do it right, you can actually then switch it to where you're giving to them, and that allows you to feel feel seen, heard, and felt as well.
I love what you share. And what comes to me as you are talking, Angus, is we are reading people off energetically, even without consciously understanding. And that's exactly what it is. If our energy is in the receiving mode and if people feel comfortable around us, it doesn't even mean that they have to know us, right? Because our energy is already welcoming them in our space, and that's why sometimes people start sharing the personal things without even understanding why they do that, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
again, we are talking about the energy. It's just, we are attracting with our energy so people can feel safe to share something that is near and dear to their hearts.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that I see so often for, let's say it's a person who hasn't found their partner yet, they're still in the active exploration, open to inviting, open to magnetizing that relationship. One of the number one things that I see, especially in today's like connected world, is people so disconnected from the actual people around them. And so I've just been putting out this challenge recently to everybody. Almost everybody goes to the grocery store. If not, you're ordering DoorDash or Uber Eats or food delivery services. If you're still trying to find somebody, but you're doing everything electronically and staying in your house, unless you have a absolutely smoking hot Amazon delivery driver, like you're probably not going to be meeting anybody. So you've got to get out of your house. You've got to create some opportunities for interactions. And when you do, it's imperative that you become present. And one of the things that I see so often is that we're in such task mode. We go to the grocery store, we have a list, we want to get in, get out, and we don't even pay attention to the other 40 or 50 people around us who are also there in task mode. And I've been challenging people, when you go out into public, whether it's the grocery store or the gym or whatever, concentrate on just being present to where you're at, not what you're doing, but where you're at and who's around. Make eye contact, smile, create a conversation. If they're wearing a name badge, call them by their name. It's stunning how few people actually have those interactions on a daily basis. Like, we're among people, but we aren't interacting with them. And when you become that person who's present, who's really present in that moment, in that location, it's like people wake up around you. It's like, wait, are you smiling at me? Like, are you talking to me? Like, they're so unused to somebody actually interacting with them that even just being present turns on that magnetism, where somebody starts to notice you, somebody starts to see you, and kind of wakes up from the stupor of the life that we've been kind of lulled into. So becoming present in that, and then becoming outgoing in just your facial features, just your expressions, creates a magnetism that most people aren't experiencing on their day-to-day.
I love that tool. Be present, right? I love that. And I also, as you speak, I also pick up something I say about being intentional, right? Because a lot of times people say, oh, I can't attract anybody, or I don't see anybody, right? But then
Yeah,
again, are you intentional? Because a
yeah,
lot of times people just do what they do, and they are waiting that, that partner is going to fall from the sky. But it doesn't work this way, right?
right.
People have to be intentional. And what I would also invite everybody to start doing, like every time, like you mentioned, Angus, when they go to grocery shop and store, anytime they exit their house, or the apartment, whatever they leave, just be intentional. Let's say, today I'm going to meet someone special. And just that energy already is going to direct you to see the opportunity. It doesn't mean that you are going to necessarily see somebody this moment, this day, but just keep yourself open for the possibilities. And if you start saying this every day, each time, you'll see something miraculous is going to show up.
Yeah, two things come to mind when you say that. I want to
Mhm.
I want to talk about what we call the closet exercise in just a minute, but I want to address something first. So often people say what you were just talking about there, where it's like, you kind of want somebody to interrupt you, but I want to challenge you. Test yourself. If the next time somebody interrupts you, what happens inside of you? Do you act like it's an interruption? Do you act like, why are you bothering me? Why are you talking to me? Or are you actually receptive to somebody interrupting you, somebody saying something to you, somebody actually creating an interaction with you? And if
Mm.
your default reaction is like, why are you bothering me? Why are you talking to me? That's the energy that you're carrying and giving off. So when the right person, the right guy, the right girl comes in your path, if you don't have that default already set up to be receptive, if you have that energetic kind of like defense up, that's what's going to happen. And it really is already happening, because that's your default. You're giving off that energy of, don't bother me, don't interrupt me. And so
Mhm.
Mr. Right, Mrs. Right could be walking right by you, could be in your life right now, but you're energetically pushing them away and keeping that from happening. Does that make sense?
Mhm. Yes, what comes to me, it's just stay in the receiving mode, right? Because a lot of times, because when I speak from manifestation standpoint, a lot of times people want to manifest something, but they are not even ready to receive.
Right.
So it's very important to stay and in that energy. I am ready. not only to give, but I'm ready to receive as well. And
Yeah.
that's exactly when we talk about receive the compliment, receive when somebody talks to you, right? And it doesn't mean that you have to like the person in order to talk to them, because there is more than just the face to the person,
Right.
to the appearance, right?
Absolutely.
Just be open and start talking, because you never know, maybe that person that you do not feel like you are vibing with them, maybe that person has a friend
Mhm.
that you're going to click with, right? So
Absolutely.
the idea is just, like allow yourself to be on the journey of discovery and
Right.
see where it's going to take you.
Yeah. So I love that. And as you were saying it brought for me, there's kind of two ways to handle it. There's the reactive, which is what I was talking
Mhm.
about a minute ago. Somebody interrupts you. And so what is your reaction to that? And then there's the proactive, which goes back to what I was talking about earlier. Are you present to what's going on around you? Because if you're present, you can proactively be giving off that energy instead of unconsciously waiting for it and then hoping that your reaction is good. And so to support you in that, or to support any of the listeners in that exercise of being proactive, one of the things, and you talk about it as well, but we talk about the closet exercise. Every morning you get up, you get dressed, you put your clothes on, you do your makeup, you brush your teeth, all the stuff. All of that is physical. And what we challenge our clients with is, what are you putting on energetically? What are you putting on emotionally? When you go in your closet, and I take everybody through this exercise where I have them close their eyes. And if you want, we can actually do this real quick. And I
Mhm.
think it's very
Mhm.
valuable for the listeners too. Take a minute and just close your eyes. Now, I want you to imagine that you have a date that's been set up by a couple of your friends. It's a blind date, but they are telling you that this person is smoking hot and such a nice person. And they know that this person is the right person for you. If you're a guy, it's the perfect woman for you. If it's a girl, it's the perfect man for you. It's the person that you've been waiting for. And your friends are so excited for you to meet them. Now you're feeling excited. You go into your closet. What are you going to wear? Like, pick out that dress, pick out that outfit, that shirt that you know, like, this is my shirt. This is the one that makes me feel the best. I feel great in it. It fits me perfectly. This dress hugs my curves right, whatever it is. Like, you know that outfit that you're going to go to. Now pick up that outfit off of the hanger and just hold it up to your chest. Go look at yourself in the mirror. And as you're looking at yourself in the mirror, turn sideways, picture that dress, picture that shirt on top on you, like you're wearing it, and feel what comes up for you. What are the feelings that come up with that? Now, go ahead and open your eyes. That energy is all just in your imagination, but you felt something. You can do that anytime you want. So imagine you're at the grocery store and you're not wearing that outfit, but there's a cute guy over there. You can immediately, just in a fraction of a second, close your eyes, go pull off that dress in your imagination. You don't have to do it with your hands or anything. Just put it up to your body and feel that energy. And then from there, go have a conversation with that guy. You will be in a much more empowered state. You'll be in a more open, more sexy, more, whatever it is, whatever that emotion is that came up for you. That is something that you can put on energetically. And so we talk about, when you get dressed in the morning, don't just get dressed in the clothes. Get dressed in the energy. What energy are you putting on today? Are you going to be flirty? Are you going to be fun? Are you going to be confident? Are you going to be whatever it is? There's all kinds of emotions that you can put on. And when you put that on before you leave your house, now you're leaving your house in that proactive energy where you're not just wearing what you want to wear, but you're wearing an energy that's giving off to the people around you. And that has an effect on every interaction that you have when you wear it like that.
Oh my God, I just love, 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 love what you shared. And you know what comes to me, Angus? That's so true. And it just like made me smile. And what comes to me, the association, like you said, you can try and test and wear different energy each time.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
me, what the association came in is just like I'm in the store and
Mhm.
I'm trying out the new outfits, right? And I just try out, I look at the mirror and I see, is this good? Maybe I'll try something else, right? So that's the beauty of it. It's just like you do not have to wear the same thing every day. Like you
Absolutely.
mentioned, same like with the clothes, we are changing the clothes.
Yeah.
Same way we can energetically also play and see which energy suits us better and how we feel dressing up in that energy.
Yeah, I love it. And for the people that are already in a relationship, sometimes relationships go through like a stale phase, or people talk about the honeymoon ending, and then it's just kind of like we're just in that phase. If you went to your closet and changed the energy before you went on your next date with your partner, I guarantee you it will shift everything. It will shift the energy. Obviously most of us are not going in there consciously making a decision to put on an energy, but if we started doing that and then tried out an energy, tonight I'm going to be flirty, tomorrow I'm going to be sexy, the next day I'm going to be confident, the next day I'm going to be seductive, whatever, like you can do those types of things and put on the different energy and keep a spice to your relationship that oftentimes we just unconsciously let go because we fall into a rhythm, we fall into a rut, and we don't choose to get out of it. This is a really simple way to energetically shift that.
I just love what you shared. Let's talk a little bit about how do we actually create more of that magnetic energy, right? Because remember, before we want somebody to attract to ourselves, we want to feel attracted to ourselves, right? So self love comes first before, because we have to love ourselves first before we allowing anybody else to feel this connection with us.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the things that I think is the most important is how you talk to yourself. Uh,
Mhm.
Most people aren't consciously aware of the voices and the words that our unconscious mind says to us. And so when we make a mistake, like how hard are we on ourselves? When
Mhm.
how often are we living in our head? I know for me, when I was younger, if something would happen, if something went wrong in my day, like I don't know why it was always the shower, but in the shower, I would find the right things to say to something that
Mhm.
happened weeks ago, months ago, years ago. Like, why are we still having conversations in our head about things that are in the past? It's because we haven't actually dealt with it. We haven't actually figured out what we needed to get from that lesson. But if we're
Mhm.
harsh in those thoughts, if we're beating ourselves up, it's hard to have a loving relationship with yourself if you're still beating yourself up for things. And so
Mhm.
that's a big clue that I would say before anything, before we can get to self-love, we've got to see, like, are we still beating ourselves up? Have we still not processed something in our past? And if not, I would highly encourage get some help, whether it's a therapist or a coach, especially coaches that work with the unconscious mind, that kind of stuff. That's what Mayan and I do. Most of our, I like to say that we're always constantly trying to solve the problems that are happening in our lives, but those problems are all rooted at the unconscious level. And if we're trying to solve unconscious problems with conscious thinking, we're just going to end up getting frustrated. So
Mhm.
it almost never works. So how do we heal that is the first step. So if you've got that stuff, I highly recommend healing that part. But then the next part is like, how do we start to love ourselves? And you're always going to have criticism. You're always going to have self-judgment, self-criticism. It's just part of our human nature, and it's actually not a bad thing because it does help us become better. If we all thought we were all wonderful right from the beginning, we would never grow, we would never improve, we would never change. So being self-aware and realizing, oh, there's some things that I don't like about me that I need to change, that's natural and it's actually healthy. It's when we can't ever do anything good enough, and the growth efforts that we're making are not we're not satisfied with them ever, that's when it starts to become a hindrance. And one of the things I like to say is thoughts are like birds. They're always going to be going through your mind. They're always not birds. Birds don't go through your mind, but birds go over your head, right? You can't stop them from
Mhm.
going over your head. But what you can do is you can stop them from building a nest on your head. Meaning
Mm.
thoughts are going to go through your mind, but it's okay to just let them go through. Like, that's a thought. I'm letting it go. But if you
Mhm.
start to ruminate on something, it starts to like build a nest in your head. Like you've got to ask yourself, do you want this in your mind, or is it something that you need to like shoo away? Because those thoughts that are not helpful, that are not really uplifting you, that are not making you feel good, if they're pulling you down, you've got to find a way to shoo those things away and get them out.
I totally love what you share, and it all starts from the self awareness. And a lot of people always blame the circumstances, the situation, everything else. and
Yeah.
they do not realize that in order to change something in their life, they have to change themselves first. And that's exactly where we come back to that topic of the magnetic force within you, because we all have that power inside of us, but a lot of people are not using that power in order to create something, right? Because this is the creative power. We're constantly creating. And like you mentioned, Angus, if we keep building that nest, we better build something amazing, right? Rather than just something destroying. And
Yeah.
that's exactly where awareness comes to play. And that's how we know that once we change from the inside, everything outside is going to reflect what exactly is inside. So, in other words, if you want to know what kind of energy the person is exuding, just look at your surroundings, look at your life results, right? Look at the people around you.
Yeah.
And if you want to change something, you got to change yourself first.
I love that. And you went somewhere that I was going to take that, because one of the things you said just a second ago was about magnetics, being magnetic and attracting these new results in your life. And I was just going to point out that the magnetism always works. It's always
Mhm.
working. It's not like, oh, how do I become more magnetic? You
Mhm.
already are magnetic. It's just that you're magnetizing to things that you
Mm.
don't want. You're attracting those
Exactly.
things already. So how do you shift something internally to attract and be magnetic to something you want? And so that's the critical thing. It's not how do I shift and become magnetic? You already are. It's always
Mhm.
happening. Unfortunately, you're magnetized to something that you don't want. How do you shift something internally to create a different results where you're magnetizing the things that you do want? That's the critical part.
I love it. Yes, absolutely. We are always attraction magnets, right? But
Right.
whatever we are attracting depends on, again, coming back to what we think about ourselves and everything else around, right?
Yeah.
And this is the work. That's exactly what a lot of people do not understand, because what I also notice in this place of work is people lose the patience. In our society, everybody wants like quick results, because you listen to the commercial. Okay, you apply this cream and then, like, you get rid of the unwanted hair, right? You
Right.
take that pill and you get your perfect body. So people just want like this, quick like results, not realizing that results are actually achieved over times. Because if we look at the famous athletes, if we look at somebody who achieves some success, it's not that the success just fall on their shoulders overnight.
Right.
That was a lot of work that they put into themselves in order to have the results that they are having. And a lot of people are not willing to do that sacrifice, right?
Right.
And again, like I said, people are willing to work at the same jobs for the rest of their life and just have that security paycheck, rather than just thinking a little bit outside of the box and start thinking, okay, how can I create my own freedom? How can I have the income that is has no ceiling, right? And obviously it's going to take time. Nothing happens overnight. And I always bring that example. I said, hey, when you go to college, when you went to college, right? You spent 4 years, you invested thousands and thousands of dollars. You do not expect after the first year to have the job. You know that you have to graduate in
Right.
order to start applying for the jobs. And again, you are not sure where you are going to end up, how much salary you are going to have, right? Same thing with the manifestation, or whenever we are working on any areas, relationship or
Right.
business or financial freedom, whatever it is, right?
Right.
Health. The point is that we know that if we send out the energy and we focus on something what we want, we are already creating. But there are stages that we have to go through, right? It's almost like we have to graduate the first grade before we are moved to the second grade. And people do not understand that. They want, okay, I enrolled in 3 months program, and they want to manifest something that is, on horizon in 3 years.
Mm.
There is something that you can achieve in 3 months for sure, but
Sure.
3 years is going to actually connect you with your dream, not just your goal, right? Because
Right.
dream is something that you can't even put in your head, versus the goal is something that, like, you can kind of build the steps already and achieve it. So a lot of people do not put these things together, though. So everybody's taking the traditional path. Everybody is like, okay, the love is not in my cards. I'm single for X amount of years, and nobody's in there, and I don't even want anybody. Right? Sometimes we are actually repelling with our energy, because it seems like we want something, but at the same time we are not ready to receive it, right? And we are not making any actions in order to bring it into our physical reality.
I completely agree. That as you were talking, I think a lot in pictures or in metaphors, and as you were talking, it reminded me of something that, you know, at any age you can teach somebody to cook something in a microwave, or in now we have the Instapots, right? Both of those things are to get food really quickly, but nobody goes to a great restaurant that is an Instapot or a microwave restaurant,
Mm,
right? And no great chefs are microwave or Instapot chefs. So, do you want this instant relationship? Which I know so many women that come to us and are like, well, how do I know, how do I find the right guy right now? Like, how do I speed
mhm,
this up? It's like, do you want the Instapot relationship? Do you want the microwave
mhm,
relationship? Or do you want to like build something deep, something that has like flavor and intention behind it? Because you're not going to get that if you want the real thing right now. Like, yeah, you can get a I'm reminded of an old one of my favorite. I may turn some people off by this, but my favorite lines from The Simpsons was something that I heard probably 25, 30 years ago. And Homer's at a fair, and there's this farmer there who says, "Yeah, he's talking about this cooker that he has. He's like, this thing can deep fry a buffalo in 15 seconds." And Homer says, "Oh, I want it now." And that "I want it now" thing is what I feel so often from our clients and from women and men who are wanting that relationship. They want it right now so badly that they're that energy that needs it right now and wants it right now
mhm,
is not willing to invest to create the depth that eventually, even when they do find something, they kill it, they choke it out because they want it so fast and so right now that they
mhm.
don't take the time to marinate in it and to really grow and invest in the flavor of that relationship to create depth and longevity.
I love what you shared. And what comes to me is like, anyways, we gotta live our life, right? And a lot of people are living by default, just whatever comes. Like they think that that's exactly how life's supposed to be, and very few people understand how to live by design, where we consciously create something what we want to bring into our space.
Yeah.
But we know it takes time. So what? Regardless, we would still have to live. We would still have to go through things. But rather than going unconsciously, let's now put some plan into place, and let's see how we can implement that plan in order to create the results, right? So
Yeah.
patience is truly the virtue, and this is something that tests us, because we always know that in order for us to attract what we want, we have to become a different person that we are today. And how do we do it, right? We learn how to navigate life. We learn how to meet the challenges with ease and grace. We learn how to overcome any struggles that come our way. We learn to pick up ourselves each time we fall, because we know it's not the failure, it's just the part of the process, as long as we keep moving forward, right? And at one day we meet the creation. And I think it's not even what we have, but who we become in the process.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
becomes even more valuable, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. I loved you said something about doing it by design, and I love that you brought that up because we actually have a program that it's a 5-week self-paced program, but it's called Dating by Design, and it is
Mm,
figuring out how to actually build the important parts that are going to create internally
mhm,
and magnetically attract that right partner for you. And it's
mhm,
so amazing as it's geared more for women right now. We're working on one for men right now, but uh, as women have gone through that, the awareness and the enjoyment that it has created as they've gone through the process, people who are frustrated or hopeless and like ready to give up on dating altogether, after they go through that, have been reporting amazing results where it's like, I didn't know I could enjoy dating this much. I didn't know that it could actually be fun. Even when I go on a date with a guy who I know is not going anywhere, like I realize like I can have fun the whole time anyways. And so creating that with intention is so powerful. And when you're having fun, I don't care what it is that you're doing. I don't care what it is that you're doing. If you're having fun doing it, you are
Mm-hmm.
more magnetically attractive to everybody, men and women. They're going to see it. It's so rare to see people that are full of joy and full of life nowadays. So if you're that person who's actually enjoying your life, it wakes people up from their stupor and like, what's she so happy about? What's he
Mm-hmm.
so happy about? Like that
What
energy.
are they doing, right? I
Yeah, what
want
are they
also
doing? Yeah,
that
I
that
want to be
that
doing whatever
feel,
that is.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen those studies. They'll put a person like on a subway or at a bus stop, and he'll be like either looking at his phone or she'll be looking at her phone or a magazine or something, and she'll just start chuckling or he'll just start chuckling like and he'll keep laughing and his laugh will get harder and he'll laugh for like 30, 45 seconds. And after about 10 to 12 seconds, like everybody's starting to like, what's going on with
Mm-hmm.
that guy?
Paying attention,
And if he
right?
keeps laughing, they all start laughing. They don't even know what's funny. It's just that somebody who has joy, it's infectious. And so if you have that
Mm-hmm.
joy, you start to infect people and they feel good around you because you feel good. And that's an amazing place to be. That's an amazing, like, if you're that person who can be the spark and create that kind of energy around you, not only are you blessing them, but now you're the person who your whole life is surrounded by people who are also having fun. Everywhere you go, you create the fun, they have it, and they reflect it back to you. Now your life is just a place where it's enjoyable to be because you started that, you chose it, you intentionally created it.
I love what you shared, and what comes to me is just sometimes even if we want to uplift ourselves, just go outside and start smiling to the strangers and see that people just unconsciously will smile back at you. So what they don't know you, but it just that smile that you have on your face is welcoming for them to also smile back at you, right? It's like having this non-verbal communication, and again we are talking about the energy, right?
Right.
That's so beautiful. Oh my God, Angus, I enjoy our conversation. So just to wrap it up, tell a little bit like what are the tips, how can we up level on that magnetic force within us and really attract exactly what we want.
One of the things we didn't talk about, but I think is really imperative, and you'll hear this from a lot of places, but you've got to have a gratitude practice. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you're not setting aside time to really recount what you're grateful for, then you stop being grateful for it. And so Mayan and
Mm-hmm.
I, we have a practice, and it's really funny because it used to be something that we did all the time, and then we get busy, and so sometimes we miss it. But we have a gratitude journal, and sometimes for people we recommend that you do that daily, and sometimes for people we recommend you do it weekly. We do it at least weekly. But one of the things that we notice is that when we do it weekly versus when we do it daily, there's a lot less things that we can remember that we're grateful for if we just do it once a week. Where if we do it every
Mm-hmm.
day, like there's probably 5 to 7 things more every day that we won't remember that we're grateful for if we just do it once a week. And that ability to really focus on all the little things that you're grateful for allows your joy to really level up because it takes it's impossible to be in joy if you're excuse me.
In sadness.
Yeah, if you're stuck in sadness, I
Mm-hmm.
meant to say it a different way. It's impossible to be sad if you're in gratitude, because if you're in
Right.
gratitude, you're looking at and looking for the
Mm-hmm.
things that make your life great. And I find that it's one of the number one things that keeps couples happy in their relationship, because when you're focused on what you're grateful for of a person, you're
Mm-hmm.
not focused on all the little things that they did wrong. They're still going to do little things wrong. Every person is a human. They're going to screw up. They're not going to be perfect. So if you're honing in on all the little things they do wrong, you build what's called negative sentiment override. And that is a terrible situation to be in, where it actually makes it to where your brain at an unconscious psychological level is actually looking for the next thing that you're doing, that your partner's doing wrong. But if you could go into
Totally.
gratitude regularly, you can go into positive sentiment override. And that allows you to kind of forget about the little things that they do wrong because you're so focused on finding the things that they do great. And by doing that, you put yourself in such a powerful magnetic state. And then from there, the next thing is like intention. Are you getting up in the morning with the intention of, I'm going to put on this energy throughout the day? I'm going to go
Mm-hmm.
out into the world. I'm going to create What's my purpose today? What am I going to create energetically in the world around me? If you do those 2 or 3 things, like your whole world and everybody around you is going to level up and appreciate you a whole lot more. And I guarantee you, you're going to be more attractive to your current partner, or if you don't have one yet, to other people who are open and looking for somebody who they want to light up their life. Why not be that person?
Oh my God, I just love what you said. And I would wanted to wrap it up, but I had to share that as well because just, to put for people into perspective, because sometimes people are not connecting when we speak, in something invisible, right?
Sure.
So when you were referring to the focus your mind, because our mind can stay focused on one thing at that time, right? So you
Yeah.
either focus on negative or you focus on positive. What it reminds me when I was about to deliver, so the baby, so I was learning how to breathe properly, right? And
Right.
obviously at that time I wasn't aware about how our brain functions. So what happened when I actually was delivering, it helped me big time, because rather than focusing on my pain,
Right.
I just forced my brain to focus on breathing, and it
Yeah.
was helping me to move through that stage. This is something that a lot of women can relate to. So that's exactly how we can shift our focus from something
That's
that we do
beautiful.
not want to experience to something that we would love to experience, whether this is peace, whether this is more love, whether this is more like just being and appreciating ourselves and staying powerful no matter what.
That was beautiful. I love that. I hope you don't mind. I'm going to steal that because you're 100%
Yes.
right. The pain is still there. Like the pain is
Mm-hmm.
still happening. And yet somehow by focusing on something else, it's helpful to
Mm-hmm.
move through the pain to the
Mm-hmm.
joy that comes after that, right? Because the pain is
Mm-hmm.
totally worth it afterwards. You've
Absolutely.
got to get through the
Yes.
pain. And if you can find a new thing to focus on, like gratitude, like joy, a new
Mm-hmm.
intention, you're going to get through those little things that are irritants because nothing
Mm-hmm.
hurts as much as giving birth, almost nothing, anyways. And so it's easy to find little things
Mm-hmm.
to focus on and create that joy that will take you through those hard times, take you through those inconveniences. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Absolutely. And yeah, beautiful, beautiful conversation. And I wanted also to tell people, like, to give like fun work. If you notice in your space somebody that you admire, because it feels like that person is just, like going through life with ease, everything is coming their way, that they feel so lucky, they have best relationship, they have abundance in their life, just notice what is about them that you might want to also bring into your space, in order to also become that magnet that magnetize the opportunities, magnetize amazing people into the space, and magnetizing wonderful partnership and everything else in life.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, Angus. Thanks so much for coming. And for everybody, check out the links, connect with Angus and connect with me. And let's just continue becoming this magnet for something amazing, because we all have that force within ourselves. And it's all about just understanding it, doing consciously that, and creating the magic in our life. Thank you so much, and happy new year, and to the magic of 2025. Thank you.
Bye bye.